Well, good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. We're going to test the mics. I've been playing with my mics and whatnot. So, can you hear me? Just say you can hear me in the comments. That would be great before I get into my whole monologue for the day. Because, I do this from time to time, and you get a little bit of a different view at the moment. Perfect. Yay! Now I can start this. So good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. It is June 12th, 2022. My name is Nikki Adamkowitz, and I am the Sassy Subber. That is right. So we are going to talk about back office stuff today. We're going to talk about the crafters calendar. We're going to talk about the trends for Christmas in 2022. I know we're in June, but with Christmas and July coming next month, we're going to need to kind of gear up for this kind of stuff. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the crazy things that I have in my shop that maybe you too should have in your shop and why I have them. We're going to talk about that so much more. So no subbing today, but lots and lots and lots of impact. But first and foremost, as I say every single Sunday, say good morning to the ladies. These are the ladies of the Sass. That's right. We have Jessica, Jody, Cheyenne, and my sister Amanda. So say good morning to all of the ladies, whether you're watching me on Facebook or on YouTube. These four ladies are the back office. They are the sassiest of sassy, but they are my, right-hand ladies. So say good morning, as we do every single Sunday, to those beautiful four ladies. Good morning, Charlie. I love that one. Yes, I'm Charlie. Apparently I became Charlie. Jeez Louise. She cracks me up. She really does. So good morning to all those ladies. I am lost without them. You guys know that. They are in your comment section. Again, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube, they are in your comment section, posting links, answering your questions. I might not always see them right away. I actually see them afterwards. But, hey, this is what we're here. If you haven't already, put hashtag sassy. By all means, please put hashtag sassy to let me know you're watching it live, which you are right now. But if you happen to be coming back to this later, put hashtag rewind. It kind of lets me know who's watching it on the rewind. And if you've gone back and watched a rewind more than once, I love seeing hashtag rewind 14 or hashtag rewind number 3, because it means that you've literally watched this 3 times. You totally were engaged in the conversation. You loved all the bits and the pieces that are on there. So if you ever go back and watch a rewind, let me know how many times you've watched that rewind. It's a great way for me to go, you know what? That was a great topic. Let's jump in and dive in a little bit more on that. So those are just the kind of things that I love when I get to see that. So let's just dive in with our crafting corner. All right, we have the crafting corner. Let me get to my page here. Where am I? There we go. So here is the Crafter's Corner. All right. This is our Crafter's Calendar that we had talked about. I had put out there, and we want to kind of just gauge where we are in the scheme of things in life, right? So here we are in June. You want to start selling summer items, start prepping for back to school. I know for a lot of you, school's either just ending or hasn't ended yet. And you're like, Nikki, what in the world? This happens to be the shortest time frame besides Valentine's Day, which comes really quick after Christmas. This is the shortest time frame we have to prepare from the end of school to the beginning of school, because you've got your high school kiddos who are graduating, right? Awesome. But then they're off to college a lot earlier than your elementary school kids or your high school kids, right? So you want to be able to start gauging for that. And typically, when you're prepping for a holiday, you want to be at least 90 days out, 90 to 120 days out for prep wise, meaning gathering all your supplies. You want to start promoting that holiday or event between 60 and 90 days. If you take a look right now, you will see Hobby Lobby and Michael's all the big craft stores have already started bringing out fall, and they're starting to prep for Christmas, which comes next month, typically in the world of crafters. We start at least 6 months before it actually happens because we got to gather all our materials. We have to sit and make them. We have to have everything right in front of us so that by the time September and October, when everybody's starting to get into all their feels of the holidays, you are prepared and you're not late to that party. All right. So that's what we're talking about in June. Now we're going to skip ahead into July. And yep, you're selling back to school. You're prepping for fall and Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. You're also starting to prep for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur if you promote those two particular holidays. These are things that you definitely want to think about. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to literally focus on that Christmas in July kind of stuff right now. You could see in the prep calendar, which you can find in our Facebook group in the featured section, you will find this calendar in there. Lots of fun stuff. And if you haven't downloaded it, download it. Add your notes to it. That was the point of the calendar. All right. So we're going to talk about the Christmas in July. We're going to talk about the trends that are coming to us. So let me just bounce back over to where I need to be. I'm getting better at this whole transition thing. So let's talk about the trends for 2022. It is kind of a doozy. So buckle up, buttercups, because what we thought we knew about Christmas is about to come to a screeching halt. And here is why. Look at the state of the economy. We have gas prices going through the roof. Our food and prices are going through the roof. Everything is going right through the roof. So the thought of actually buying Christmas presents this year or decorating for Christmas literally goes, and we have that moment of going, now how are we supposed to afford all this stuff, right? So they've been looking at the trends, and really what it's coming back to is, again, we've talked about it in years past, the basics, but we're going to get further into that as to what kind of gift giving trends are starting to come in. What are the color trends for this coming year as well? So let's jump right into it. I've got my notes prepped. So here are the color trends that are coming in for 2022. So your traditional Christmas you can never go wrong with, whether it's your traditional green, red, and white, or with pops of gold and silver, or it's your burgundies and your rich forest green tones with pops of gold. More of the jewel tones start coming into that play. Don't get me wrong. White and gray are kind of making their way as a mainstay here in the Christmas color world, while blue has kind of made its way as a more traditional color with the pops of deep navy blue. Well, if we start playing with tones of white, you start bringing in more of the baby blues. And they've even hinted at lavender being one of the colors that are kind of making their way into this year's trend palettes. Lots of botanicals are also coming into the trends for this year. So you're having lots of ferns, lots of pine, berries, sticks, lots of nature aspects to it. They're kind of doing away with the big baubles and metallics in that sense. Like, I don't want to say fake looking Christmas because I don't feel like Christmas is fake, but it just kind of has a look to it. You know what I mean? So they're kind of going away from that, and they're pulling more back into nature, back into basics. Again, things that you could just go pick up in nature and bring them into your home, add a beautiful red bow to it, and now you've got some Christmas swag. While I did say gold and silver are kind of just a mainstay at Christmas. I mean, there is a song called Silver and Gold, right? So, yep, they always add a little bit of sparkle to anything that you have on your Christmas list. Now, that's in your metallic silvers and your metallic golds. Now they're bringing in all shades of green. They're even adding in pops of lime green, but not bright, obnoxious lime green. It's a more toned down lime green. They're bringing that as pops of color in there as well, but they're not going with the hot, hot pinks and whatnot. But yet they're still kind of bringing in some neon, not as in neon colors, but as in neon lights for some of the early trends that you're seeing come out. I don't think that's really necessarily going to stick because it's one of those holidays we kind of like basic. We kind of love our farmhouse. We love our country. We love, the warm feels, all the feels you can get from Christmas. And I feel like the neons, those really vibrant colors, don't speak Christmas. Now, that just is me, but that doesn't mean it doesn't speak Christmas to you. Now, soft shades of pink and soft shades of blue, which are going to really balance off nicely with your grays and your whites. So it's not baby pink and not baby blue, more like a soft mauve or that country slate blue in the lighter tones. Chocolate and sand. That's right. Chocolate is actually one of those mainstay colors. And I say why it's a mainstay color because it's a neutral color. The sand and the chocolate colors are really just neutral. They kind of bring in those woodsy tones that you see everywhere. So they're kind of a mainstay with your traditional Christmas. You see all those wood tones mixed in with your reds and your greens and your whites and your creams, right? So those are kind of a mainstay color that you could just add in some pops of color in there without it being overwhelming Christmas. Those are the kind of colors right there that you can take and kind of move into winter without it screaming Christmas. That's another vibe that they've been talking about for the last couple months, is longevity of design. So basically they're taking a lot of the Christmas trends and they're pushing it into the winter, things that can carry over so they have some longevity when it comes to home decor. Last and certainly not least, as you get into those milky, creamy tones, think ivory, think frothy colors. So you start mixing them in some chocolate, and then you add in some burgundy rich tones, those forest greens, add a little bit of sprinkling of those metallic golds, and you have a recipe of beautiful proportions. But now let's take a step back and add in some of the cream tones with that navy blue. How gorgeous is that, right? You start getting into the navy blues and you add a little bit of pop of the lighter blue colors, add in some silver, and oh, that is just gorgeous, right? So these are just some of the trend colors for 2022. Lots of things are going, and actually the trends have started to switch a little bit with the economy. They were talking about a lot of different things in all of the blogs that I've been reading, and you know what? They're going, yeah. You could go big and go out there, but now they're starting to pull back and go, you know what? We need to see where those trends are going and kind of pull it back, bring it back down, settle it back in, and then see what happens from there. Sagey lime green, yes, sort of in that color. Sage, you can never go wrong with the color sage. Mix that in with some mauve colors, some slate blue, add a little bit of silver and a little bit of cream, and it brings it to a very vintage Christmas. Think vintagey Christmas, pops of burgundy in there. So those are just some of the beautiful things. Now let's go and start talking about the trending gifts for 2022. That's where you and I come in. So yeah, we can talk about color and all the color trends that are coming in, but really, we're all about the gifts. We know that because that's what we produce. Besides the family sleepwear, which I'm not going to say is going to go away, but I want to tell you that people are going to focus their money on things, maybe not full pajama sets, but maybe just on the shirt aspects of it. So keep that in mind if all of a sudden you see a nosedive in your pajama world, because really people are going to try to use that money towards gifts, towards that kind of stuff. So don't get too upset if it's not a huge trend for you this year. I'm not saying it won't be, but again, it depends on your market. Just, I know everybody's going to start nickel and diming their costs when it comes to Christmas. You're going to see a lot of that kind of stuff and how they can get the most bang for their buck. So again, gifts that are grouped together are going to sell a little bit better than things that are single. Why is that? Because they're going to get a lot more bang for their buck. They're going to see it as a 2-for-1 kind of a deal. I'm not saying to I don't want to say undervalue what you do, but grouping things get together kind of plays a mind game with your buyer so that they feel that they are getting more than just a cup, right? Well, what else could you put with that cup kind of thing? So keep that in mind when you're trying to prepare all of your things. So they're going to talk about handmade. Now, again, these are just the trends. These aren't just some of the things that I'm putting out there, but it's just some of the chatter that's been talking all over the blogs I follow. So handmade Christmas decorations, that is kind of the thing. Again, bringing it back to simple basics. Well, where do we come in? You know, you can offer different things like ornaments for people to add to homemade swags and popcorn garlands. You can add a candle holder, right? And then they can make their own candles. Mason jars, the mason jar cups make great candle holders as well. Again, think simple when it comes to that. Again, these are just things that I've seen in the trends. One of the other things is original and useful gadgets. So what could we do in our world that's original, that is a useful thing, that isn't just pretty in a showcase piece? It has to have form and function, right? So it's beauty and function all in there. It's like Beauty and the Beast, right? So you've got all the beautifulness of all those great decor stuff, but it has some function to it. You know, like when I talk to you guys about your fluffy, fancy towels, right? The fluffy, fabulous towels not only are gorgeous on the one side because they, you know, produce some beautiful prints, but you can actually use them. They're not one of those things that are just meant to just stay hanging there to look pretty. No, they're actually meant to be used. Maybe your pot holders and oven mitts, again, beautiful, but they have some function to them. So think about that when you're thinking about the things you might want to offer in your shop. Huge trend, board games. Yep, that happens to be one of the big things. Why? They're bringing back family time. Who would have thunk? We've spent 2 years really being a family in the COVID world, but you know what? It has stuck. That's right. So board games, things that, you know, can bring the whole family together, or stuff for the kiddos in the game world. So be sure to notice that you're going to see a lot of us designers start working on the board games and the different games that you can play. Maybe it's activities for the kiddos. Whatever it may be, you definitely could use that. What's a great family game? Quarter toss games, of course, right? We have the quarter toss games from Planktastic, she has the large size for the adults, and then she has the small size for the kiddos. So that's a great family fun game to play, and we're going to be doing designs for those. Another thing that's also a big trend, blankets, slippers, and socks. Yeah, right? I know Mr. Silky over there knew in the entire world that socks would be a trend. Little did he know that in 2022, it was going to become a huge trend for Christmas. Because again, Beauty and the Beast, form and function, right? You have the cute little socks, whether it's the no-shows, the grippies, whether it's, you know, any of that kind of stuff. You can head over to Silky Socks and he has got all of your sock needs. But that is actually one of the big trends. Blankets, you know, those Hallmark blankets, the ones we're not supposed to talk about, right? Those are going to be a huge trend again this year. So try to find your blankets if you can. And if you can't, find something different, but still have a beautiful blanket in mind. Slippers. Did you know you can sub on slippers? Right. Yeah, there's slippers you can sub on. But maybe you just want to add vinyl. And you know what? If slippers aren't your thing, that's okay too. Warm fuzzy socks, warm socks, whatever it may be, is also one of the big trends. So socks, blankets, and games is what I heard for this Christmas trends for gifts. Handmade, form and function are the trends for gifts this year. In the home decor, something that's going to have a little bit more longevity when it comes to design. Well, yes, I am totally all for having my house dripping in Christmas decor. I also love stuff that I can leave up after Christmas. Maybe move it to a different room just for some different visual interest, but it kind of lasts through into the winter. Being here in the Northeast, soon going to be in the South, you're going to see how my Christmas decor is probably going to do a switcheroo. So that's going to be different for me this coming season. Let me tell you, that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff for you guys to take in. So start preparing for your Christmas stuff. Go through. If you're looking to figure out, hey, what can I do for Christmas and July sales? This is a great time to maybe launch the stuff that you had left over from last year. Get that out of your stock. Make way for new stuff. Remember, I'm going to be doing my Christmas in July series on July 10th and the 24th. I will be away in Texas that mid weekend, which is I think the 17th. So I will be away July 17th at the Chattanooga. Wrong show. At the Applique Getaway. I will be at the Applique Getaway in July from the 14th through the 18th. So be sure to check out my lives then, and I will definitely be showing you all the stuff that's happening at the Applique Getaway. But my Christmas in July, which are the biggest, there's the word I was looking for. They're the biggest shows that I have, because you guys want to know what's coming out from all of our vendors, what our designers are up to. So make sure you mark your calendars for July 10th and the 24th on those things. I'm going to head over to the comment section, see what y'all are talking about. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, recycle and upcycle your items. Great, great thing. And that's what I'm telling you, is to go through what you already have. Look at those items, right? Who can you reach out to? One of my biggest vendors happens to be I shouldn't say vendors, but clients are photographers. Next up, real estate agents. I know I talk about it a lot because it's really an untapped market. I've had 5 real estate agents already say, are we still on board even though you're moving? And I said, yep. All we have to do is ship it. So that is the beautiful thing about online stuff. You just have to ship them to them. They are great ornaments. If you're looking for fantastic metal ornaments that ship really, really nice, you really need to head over to sublimationunderground.com. And she has a ton of metal ornaments. She is where I get my house ornaments from, which I will be posting my house ornament that I used last year for my real estate agents that you guys all fell in love with. So I'm going to post it this year for you guys to use. Plus, that's right, your girls already started on fall and Christmas designs. Why not, right? You guys have seen me post them over in my Facebook group. So this is where we're at. I know you guys are thinking, we're not even in summer, Nick. I know. Summer doesn't hit until June 21st, 22nd, around there, right? But for us as crafters, we really have to be already in our minds in that back half of the year. It's a huge part of our year. It's where a lot of our sales come in for many of us. It's where we are literally balls busy. We need to make sure that we have everything in stock, because there's nothing worse than having something on your website and you don't have it in stock, and now you're going to wait weeks to get it. Christmas is already jumbled up when it comes to shipping and lead times. You want to set yourself up pretty. One of the things I learned over the last 14 years of being in business, here's some tips. Ready? I literally stopped shipping out to my out clients, out beyond my local area. All right. December 6th. I have literally cut the date off as December 6th to guarantee it to you by Christmas. You can place your order then, because again, you have to make it, whatever it is you have to do, and get it out the door. With the Christmas lead times for shipping going through the roof, usually from what Kevin tells me, priority mail and all of that is around between the 15th and the 18th to get it there by Christmas. You and I both know that doesn't always work out in our favor. So I've always said it that December 6th, for anything that has to be shipped outside of New York State, needs to be in my hot little hands by then. Now, for my local clients, I close it down December 12th. So December 12th is usually when I close down for placing your orders. They can pick up their orders, anytime after that. But for placing orders to guarantee them to you by Christmas, those are the 2 dates that I have used literally religiously over the last 14 years. Now, also with that said, in the last probably, especially being here in Sublimation and really having to work at getting my supplies in, I've started to prepare months ahead of time. so that I would have them in stock. So whatever I list on my website is all I have. They sell out, they sell out. You know what? That's the same with the stores. Think about it. You're looking for a cup, let's say, and you know you can get it at Walmart. Well, let's just say at the Walmart, it's sold out at yours. Now you're scurrying all over God's Green Creation to find that same cup. It's best to grab what you can, and that's all you have. We are all about making the money, and unfortunately, the early bird gets the worm. Think about it that way. If you're out, you're out. That holds true for your shopper. They go to the store and they wait until Christmas Eve to buy something. That's on them if they can't find it. It's not on you as the seller. It's on them as the buyer for not preparing. So prepare yourself in however many items you want to have in your wheelhouse, what you want to have in your stock. And then on your website, only have those items that you have in your hands. Yes, we're going to see things, but you can't always guarantee that when we're seeing new items coming out in September and October and November, that you're going to have it in time for Christmas. If you are literally only showing off your stuff in November for Christmas, you're already late to the party, because everybody else has been starting to show theirs off in early September. All right, they've already started bringing all of their Christmas stuff out. It's starting to make its way out, kind of filtering its way through. In the mix of Halloween and Thanksgiving and fall items, you will see Christmas, when it comes to gift giving ideas, start to creep its way through as we get close. Once Black Friday hits, you're kind of late to the party for promoting your items. Do I say you can't wait till then? You definitely can. Whatever you do for your business is completely up to you. That's the beautiful part of it. But don't get upset when you don't have those amazing sales because of your lack of preparation. This is also a great time to sit and work on Canva. That's right. Cheyenne and I did a whole Canva series, I shouldn't say series, Zoom, and we posted it over on the YouTube channel so that you guys could go back and watch what Canva can do for you, whether it's making your cards for your packaging, whether it's making your promo stuff. That's a great place to start too, so that you can get ready for all of that stuff when it comes to your flyers and all of your ads that you want to push on all of your social medias. Again, lots of information today. Let's head back to those comments. Bring back family togetherness without screens. Exactly. It doesn't have to necessarily be us staring at our computer screens or at the gaming stuff. No, this is about the board games, the puzzles, that kind of stuff. So there's awesome stuff there. Get those fall supplies, ladies, because the colors, because you know what? We want to play. This is a great time also for those color me type things, whether it's shirts, puzzles, whatever it may be, you know, the color me type stuff. Yep. Also, remember, there's going to be hikes. You're going to see lead times. You're going to see price hikes. Try to get it while you can before those price hikes happen. So there you go. Now we're going to go into that section of the things that Nikki has in her shop that maybe you should too. We're going to talk about the lists and stuff of what you should have in your sublimation world. Let me get to that list. Let me see where it is. I don't know where I put that list. I don't know where I put the list, but here are some things that you should always have in your shop when it comes to sublimation. Heat tape, paper, lint roller, a big board, Teflon sheets. I'm going to still find that list because that's a great list. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Window capture, and there you go. Look at that. Now I got it. Ha! Okay, here are the top 10 things you should have in your shop for sublimation. Paper, heat tape with dispenser. Let me just tell you, if you're using your heat tape and you don't have a dispenser, it might be the time that you get into the grown-up world of your business because it's a godsend. You should also get a lint roller, a board for large products, Butcher paper and holder. The butcher paper holder is also another one of those things that you should probably have. Measuring tape, rulers. I get my 18-inch rulers. I was talking to my friend Beverly. 18-inch rulers. You can get those at Michael's. I love my metal rulers. You should also have some rubbing alcohol, cutting board, or I'm sorry, cardboard and foam to stick inside things, you know, for pressing, Teflon sheets, and a heat gun, just to name a few. There are a bunch of other items which we're going to go look at over at the heat press area, but those are just some of the items you should have in your wheelhouse at all times. So you're going to ask, Nikki, how many packs of paper? I always have one that I'm working on and one as a spare. Technically, I usually have 4, but if it's you and me talking, I also do the same thing. I have a roll of tape in my dispenser, and then I have at least one in my supply bin. Lint roller, I have a lint roller and a velvet lint brush. The board for large products, you guys have seen me use the board. Now the board is my big board, which is 30 by 24, and then I have one that's 16 by 24. And I use those for larger products so that when I'm laying it out, it's easier to get in underneath the press. We'll probably have to revisit the whole board thing at a later opportunity. Another thing to have is your butcher paper and your tape dispensers, right? Those are definitely things to just help make things a little bit easier. Now, let's talk butcher paper for a second. The butcher paper I get at Sam's. I think it's now up to like $25 for the roll. The roll is huge. All right. I have to buy another roll soon, actually. I usually have, again, one roll on the dispenser, and then I have another roll tucked away. I haven't gotten my tucked away one, so I will be up creek before too long. You also will measuring tape. I would have a couple different types of measuring tape. You need one that is made for sewing, so it's flexible. You also need ones that are the rigid ones, like your rulers. You should also try to get one that sticks to your table. I made those for our tri-pack, and this way too, you can have one right there on your table. If you don't have one for your table, just take a measuring tape, a flexible one, and just tape it to your table. Cut where you want it to be and tape it to your table. This way you have a measuring tape right there on your table. That's a great DIY hack. Rubbing alcohol is to wipe down your products. It's kind of a staple. This way you can wipe down your products from any residue and fingerprints. Your cardboard and foam pad. Now the cardboard I use a lot for my neoprene items when it comes to like tote bags, lunch bags, that kind of stuff. The foam is great for when you're pressing shirts. I personally don't use them, but a lot of people do. The Teflon sheets. The Teflon sheets I use for when I'm pressing a glitter vinyl, but I use it to protect my bottom platen, and then I put butcher paper over the top of that, and then I work on my project. Heat gun, because guess what? Not all heat presses keep temperature. And it doesn't always mean that it's reading at exactly 400 degrees, and you might also have cold spots. It's great to know this before you get in the thick of the season and you can't figure out why your thing isn't pressing correctly. Those are just some of the things that you can use. Now, where you get your paper and your tape, completely up to you. Just make sure it is heat safe tape. If you want to get some heat tape, you can head over to Driven by Graphic Supply Co. He has heat tape in 2 different sizes. I get my paper from Johnson Plastics Plus. Why? Because they do the 13 by 20 paper, and I've been using it for years. Here's the thing. I don't switch paper. I just don't. I don't fix what's not broken. And we have some sad news. Here's the sad news. As you guys have been following along with the bouncing ball over on my Facebook group, well, about 3 weeks ago, my Big Mama, which is my Roland, had to have a new print head replaced. So I did that. Well, then my hard drive crashed on my computer the week later. Yep, so I fixed that. And just this last week, after 4 lovely years of having it, my Sawgrass 800 died. So I'm no longer on Team Sawgrass. I loved my Sawgrass. I loved the plug and play feature of it. I absolutely will never knock it in that sense because it really was super easy and I kind of just got used to it. But now I've gone to the dark side and I'm now on Team Epson. You know that Epson I've always talked about that sits on the shelf just in case she died? Well, I had to put her to use. That's right. So I have my Epson ET 15000. I've been starting to use that. Do I see a difference? Not really. It's just, and how you print is where the difference is, and what kind of ink you use. just, you know, how you put your ink into your, but otherwise, I don't see a difference. It prints, and I literally still had a Sawgrass print, and I had an Epson print, and honestly, I didn't see a difference in the color or the quality, and it worked really well with my Johnson Plastics paper. So there you go. If you're going to ask me, because I am one person who has had both now, I don't necessarily see a difference. Yes, I did like the features of the Sawgrass where you have the different ink that gets to be laid down for different substrates. That is something I will miss because the Epson does not have that. That's the only thing that I'm going to have to try to get used to. You know, it is what it is, but here we are. So there you go. I am done with tech failures. I don't have anything else that could be failed because, you know, I've already replaced everything. So tag your all else in because I'm done. Done. Hello, Nathan. Go ahead and buy a cleanser to keep the platen clean. Exactly. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to head over to the heat press. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that is on over there or what we have in our wheelhouse. Let me just make sure my sound is on over there because I would hate for you not to hear me. Hold, please. Hold, please. I know. We're here. You're getting there. It's all right. I know you guys can hear me now. Let her put some sass in it. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, good. Yay for hearing me. Can you guys still hear me? Sing it, girlfriend. Whoop, whoop. Okay. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. You know what I hate about my hard drive crashing? Is it literally made me have to shut down everything and refix it all. I will be moving. Okay, so y'all can hear me now? Do I sound distant? Do I sound like I'm right here? I'm waiting for the comments. Okay, good. All right, cool beans. Again, thanks for following along. You guys knew that my hard drive crashed, which meant I lost everything, and I had to re-put everything back up, and none of the settings were the way that I originally had them, which frustrates me to no end. But we're back at it. Here we go. Okay, so let's talk about the stuff that's sitting right here in front of me. You guys are looking at it going, what in the world? So here are some of the odd things that I have in my shop, and here's why, right? So I have these. We're just going to pick everything up off the table, and I'm going to tell you what I'm using it for. We've got stuff over on the side too. So we have the Lobster Clasps. I use those for my key fobs. I will use them for just about anything, really. But I like to have these on hand because you never know when you're going to need them, or you know, that kind of thing. So I have those. Those are the lobster claws. You're looking at these two black items right here. Okay, this should be in every person's shop. Every person's shop. Okay, I got told about this a few years ago. I was told I needed it. So do you. This is a caliper. What is a caliper? Well, a caliper is one of those things that, so if you bring it on, you zero it. Whoops, on, off, zero. Okay. This will let you know how big something is. All right. If you're unsure of how big a blank is or anything of that nature, this is absolutely a must-have tool to have in your wheelhouse. This is a caliper. You can find it on Amazon. By all means, make sure you have one of these in your shop. This has been a lifesaver when it comes to measuring things, and it measures it in millimeters and inches. This is something that is a must-have, is this caliper. Next up, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but here's another thing that I have. So, as you guys know, I can cut my own metal, but sometimes I want extra holes in things. This is a metal hole punch. All right, so you can get one of these metal hole punches. Again, you can get it over on the Amazon. And what it does is basically cuts holes in things. So maybe you have an ornament and you want to hang other ornaments or gems off the bottom of your ornament. I mean, how pretty is that, right? So maybe you want to put gems on the bottom of your ornaments. This way, this allows you to add another hole to the bottom of those metal ornaments. It kind of looks bulky. It kind of is bulky. But you know what? This is definitely something everybody should have in their wheelhouse. All right. So a caliper and a metal hole puncher. Here are those pliers that I can never find when I need them, right? Because I'm always using them. So these are the key fob pliers. These are the ones that you use for those pinch key fobs. I don't even have one here. But this is what you want to use for those. This helps a lot than, you know, trying to use your own muscle power to do that. So these are the key fob pliers. Rotary cutter tool. And you know what? You should probably have extra blades. Ask me how I know. I have like 7 of them and had no extra blades. Make sure you have the extra blades. These do come in handy for a lot of variety reasons, like if you're cutting ribbon, if you're cutting fabric because you're going to be pressing on felt or whatever it may be. Rotary cutter is definitely another thing. Here's that heat tape. I don't have one of the fancy ones that you all have with the little tab. You know what? I don't see a point in that thing. All right, I have just your basic, okay? I have basic around here. I don't have one of those fancy smancy ones that, you know, have 6 arms and no, there's no need for it. An X-Acto knife with blades. Have some extra key rings laying around. Again, these are just spare parts, but you should probably just pick up a package of them. I make pins, so you can make pins out of just about anything, but the pin backs is something that I have in my wheelhouse. Earrings, because I like to make earrings. So not just the wire earring holders, but the regular, you know, post back ones. Hair clips, if you're into the whole hair clip thing, I have those. Sharpie markers by the truckload. You can never go wrong with a Sharpie marker. Make sure you have a bunch of them for writing on packages, for anything, really. You just need a bunch of Sharpie markers in your wheelhouse. Paper clips, or not paper clips, clothespins. Believe it or not, I will clothespin my products to my butcher paper under my heat press. Like if it's hanging off the sides, I will put it there so it holds it if I don't want to tape it down. So I've used those. Heat bond tape. Heat bond tape is great for a lot of different uses. Make sure you have a spare of that. These are the other clips that I use as well. These little ones right here, sewing ones. Twine, lots of it. And there's different varieties of twine and different thicknesses depending on your needs. So twine is another good thing. I also use these black rubber bands. I will show you in a brief second why I use these black rubber bands. And you're going to go, what? You've taught me how to make these one way, and now you're going to tell me I can use a rubber band? Yeah, we won't get into that. Anyway, another product that I have that I use and I will offer my clients are these. What are these? These are for the garden flags to attach to the post so that your garden flags don't fall away or fly away, you know, at the bottom. So this kind of goes, pinches to the under corner. This wraps around the post and it holds your garden flag in place. So these are a great thing to have. They are called, oh, it doesn't tell me. Basically an anchor. It's a garden flag anchor. I will find out where I got those from, but that's also another use for those. All right, so before we get to it, because y'all are gonna get on my case about it, so here's where I use, and I'll show you in 2 different types of ways. Here's where I use the rubber bands for you're gonna go, are you serious right now? Yes, ma'am. I'm 100% serious. You're welcome. Oh wait, you want me to show you with regular ribbon too? Okay. Let me get the regular ribbon out real quick because I know before we go on, you're all going to want to know how to do it. Okay, even when you have regular bows, fold it in half. Again, if you're not into the whole bow thing and you're like the whole method thing bothers the crap out of you, take a rubber band and just, I'm about to get flack for this. I know I am, because you're gonna be like, you've been showing us for this for the last however many years, Nikki, and I can't get it to make me a bow. I know, but we won't get into it. So there you go. No mic. You guys can't hear me? Hold on. Can you guys hear me? Because I just got a message saying no mic. I do use zip ties as well. Yup. I do use zip ties as well. Oh, okay. I just got a message and it just said from Cheyenne. It just said that it says no mic. Okay. So yes, there you go. You can use the rubber bands. It works really well. So there you go. Thank you guys. You're so awesome, sausages. Okay, so there you go. Zip ties, the little black rubber bands. You can also use the clear ones. The clear ones are great because then they kind of hide. But yes, you can use the clear, you can use the black, and you can use, which brings me to my next point. I got this thing right here. It's hard to see on the big screen, but it's the multi-use of the zip ties. I mean, I have quite the plethora of sizing in here, and you never know why you're going to need them. Just have a bucket of them. Another thing is super glue. That's right. I use this super glue. Why? Because it's the gel, and I can squeeze it out. It's not going to come running out. It gives me a little bit more time to prep my stuff and get it all together. So I do use this particular glue. I'm going to put it up to the little camera. Right? So there's that. Let's see what else I have pulled here. Again, you never know why you're going to need them, but you definitely want to have some of the pipe cleaners. Now, we're going to get into this stuff of all the things that I have and things. All right, so here are the gems that I just recently got that I wanted to show off. I cannot wait to add these to my crystals. So I have crystals. Nope, they're not. I have crystals somewhere in my boxes. And the crystals, I got neat and put them away. All right, so the crystals, these are I'm going to use different colored ones, but I'm putting these on my Christmas ornaments this year. And I'm making little dangles on my Christmas ornaments, so you'll be sure to see that DIY project because I want some sparkle to it. I will also be doing my DIY project where we add the snow to stuff. We'll go back to that, but how pretty. Let me get up. Hold up. Like, so pretty. So pretty. Okay, so that's one thing that I have in here. Now, here's another thing. These storage bins work great for your little things, right? Whether it is my beads. So I already have my beads ready for this year. I've already purchased them, got those all refilled. This is where I keep all my earring stuff. I have my little gems here for when I want to make different things. I have those, my tassels, my earring blanks. As you can see, I have a lot of stuff that I'm starting to make sure that I have everything. I organize everything. So these plastic organizers are a huge help for you to be able to see all of your things so that you can have them. Again, here's what my beads look like for this year. These are all, I got to get more black though. And some more silver. I have a whole other box that has natural wood in it for me to make my own colored ones. But here is what I have. I've started collecting those again because those go on my ornaments, which we'll talk about. Now we're going to get into the whole ribbon thing. This ribbon isn't necessarily for making bows per se, but maybe they're for your ornaments. Maybe they're for your packaging. So I like to have different size ribbon. I have right here, which is this thin one, which is the 1/8 inch. Then I have this one, which is the 3/8 inch. And I also carry the 7/8. Why? So the 7/8 I use for tying my packages up because I really like everything to be pretty with a bow. And it just looks nice. I know it's, you know, people are like, oh, you shouldn't add extra. I like extra. That's what makes me extra. Okay. I have rolls of green, white, red, black, and cream of the 3/8 inch because I use them on my ornaments. I try to stay with some neutral tones for that. And the same holds true for my thin stuff because sometimes I don't want a big bulky ribbon, like in the sense of the 3/8. I like to use the 1/8 inch for a variety of different things. So we have that as well. All right, so you would also want to have a yarn needle. A yarn needle will come in handy. Tweezers come in handy for getting things. You can also use, and let me find her, a crochet hook. You want a crochet hook that has the hook. It almost looks like a lobster claw clasp, but it's a crochet hook. That's great for poking it in, grabbing it, and pulling it through the hole if you need to, especially for beads. Regular crochet hooks work really well as well. Those are just some great things to have. I know odd things. You guys are always asking me, what odd things do you have? I also have a lighter for sealing the ends of my ribbon. I have a couple different lighters. I have fabric scissors and regular scissors. I have your picker tools. I'm looking at all the stuff that's always sitting here in front of me. Hole punches. It sounds crazy, but you should really also have tools. Like hex, you know, your Allen wrenches, because a lot of your equipment has Allen wrenches. I always keep these because if, you know, something gets too tight, you know, the nuts and the bolts or whatever, I can loosen it. Make sure you have WD-40 in your wheelhouse as well. Again, because things get tight, great time to lube up all of the stuff that you have for your equipment, like your heat press. Make sure that that's running nice and, you know, and properly. Let's see, here's the heat tape. Not only do I have heat tape there, I have heat tape here. This is the one from Marvin. Needle and thread is another thing to have in your wheelhouse. This is the elastic cord if you're making the beaded wristlets. That comes in handy. I always have my tomato laying around with the needles in it. I'm trying to look at everything that's literally right in front of me. You always want to have blades for your X-Acto knives. These are just some of the crazy things that you should have. Cardstock is another one. Yes, cardstock is a great one. Thanks, Jess. For having, now I have colored cardstock, I have brown cardstock, and I have cream colored cardstock. And I think I have white over there. Yes, I do have white. Also, make sure you have regular printer paper in stock. Don't have just one ream, have two. Envelopes, maybe you want to have envelopes in there. You want to have your packaging stickers. We're going to switch over to, let me get to my camera here. Give me a second so I can get on the bigger screen. Okay, so here's where we're going to talk about packaging for a second. You guys always see this hot mess that sits right behind me. That is my packaging department. So I have cardboard and stuff underneath. All right, I have my mugs in here. I get my mugs now from JDS because they come already in their boxes. They already come in a box, a heavy box, not a flimsy box. So I have that over here. I have regular gift boxes in here. I have a variety of different size, different size bags because these work great for just our little items, adding some great packaging. I also have these self-sealing ones in a variety of different sizes. I have those. I also have a wide variety of different sizes when it comes to my poly mailer bags. Now, a lot of questions. Nikki, I want to ship a mug. I go, yep. I wrap it in bubble wrap and put it in a poly mailer bag. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. So I have those, and I have everything from a 6x9 all the way up to a 20 or 19 by 24 in those poly mailer bags. And I use a very generic color. I add my own business stickers to the outside of it. It's a lot cheaper than me trying to buy ones with my logo on it in the variety of sizes that I need. So it's easier just to add a sticker. It's a little bit more cost effective. I have some regular shopping bags, clear ones for my local pickups. I'm trying to see what else is over there. I also make sure I have some chipboards. The chipboards come in handy for sticking those inside the poly bags so things don't get bent. Another thing you can do is take a bag, a Ziploc type bag if you're going to put a pillow in it, and you can actually suck the air out to make it flat, and that's how you can ship a pillow, a full pillow, right? If you want to ship a full pillow, you can definitely ship a full pillow, put it in there, roll it, get the air out of it so that you could stuff it into the poly mailer bags, and you're paying like maybe first class shipping because it doesn't weigh so much. You're taking the air out of it, right? So you can do that. We're going to get into the packaging real quick because people often ask me about packaging and what should you have. Well, in your packaging, depending on your company, it is completely up to you. If you want to add a card, you want to add freebies in there, again, up to you. Remember, when you add cards and freebies and all that, it adds to the cost of your bottom line, right? You're taking out of your own profits by adding those, but it might be important to you. Make sure you at least have good packaging in the sense of like the poly mailer bags and at least logo stickers that can go on the outside of your packaging just to make it look pretty. All right, that's really all it is. Then they'll know who it comes from. Can you double bag yours? Absolutely. Please also keep in mind too that the post office has changed its parameters on the sizing for shipping, and it will cost you more. I think it's anything over 30 inches in length, you are going to get hit with a dimensional charge. I believe that's what Kevin told me it was. So be very vigilant about what you're shipping and how big it's in, what, you know, when it comes to your container size. So keep that in mind as well. Trying to think. Where do you get the gems from? I got those from Amazon, Linda. Also make sure you have plenty of business cards, thank you cards. Yes, and did you know you can order those business cards and thank you cards off of Canva? That's right, yes you can. Yes you can. You can order all of those off of Canva. I think I was looking at thank you cards, actually it was event cards for a client. They're 5x7, double-sided. It was gonna cost me $113. $140 with shipping. So there you go, for 500. Did you hear me? 500, right? 5x7s. You can also make your business Christmas cards on there to send out to people. You know, it really doesn't, you could put a lot of things. You could also send out maybe to your clients, you know, a happy holidays and maybe a fun family recipe on the back that you could share with your clients because that's just cool. You could do that as well. So you could actually order those things off of Canva and they will ship them right to you, which is beautiful. Love every part of that. Let's see. I feel like the litter me. Oh, yes, I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I got 20. There you go, Cheyenne. I filled your need for your Little Mermaid. And I do. I have a lot of different things in my wheelhouse. I always like to be well stocked. I literally hate feeling the rush of the holiday season where I am literally lacking in a product. There is nothing worse than going around and scrambling to try to find your things, paying extra amount in shipping, and then to have your client go, oh, I didn't want it after all. And now you went to all of that heartache, right? Because that has happened. Make sure too, can we stop with the, hey, you can pay when you pick up? Can we stop that? I've seen a lot of people. Here's a heart to heart. Can we have one? Okay. You're a business. You're a beautiful soul. And there is nothing worse than having somebody place an order. You poured your heart into it. You did everything you could to grab all the stuff to make that beautiful piece of whatever it was, right? To have them come to you and go, I decided to go elsewhere. And then you sit there with that product custom made with their name on it. And now you can't do anything with it. Can we start putting into practice that you pay up first? I mean, let's really think about it. You order anything online, you have to buy it first before it can be processed, before it could be shipped out, before it can be made, whatever it may be. So why do we feel as local businesses we have to produce the item and then they pay? Can we stop that? Can we just stop that? You are worth anything and everything. So don't undervalue your worth. You know, you are a very valuable asset to your community. Be treated as such. If they're willing to pay up front online to Amazon, to Walmart, to Target, to Kohl's, to whomever, up front before they get their product, the same holds true for you. Stop doing that. If they want the product, you say, yep, as soon as you pay for the product, I will gladly place your order. They'll be like, but I want to pay with cash. Sure, you could stop in and pay for cash at any time. Absolutely. I don't start any orders until it's paid for in full. I don't even take partial payments anymore because I've been stuck. Some people are willing to walk away from $20 if that was a down payment versus just not getting it at all. Force them to know you are worth a lot. Your time is valuable. You are valuable. So I want you to make sure you take a moment and evaluate your business process. Maybe this is a great time before the holiday season gets here to stop having people pay for cash after you've made the product. Maybe it's time to say, hey, listen, I'll send you an invoice. You can pay it online. It'll be ready for pickup. They're still saving. They're not paying for shipping, right? I've also seen people institute, pickup charges. It's going to be $2 for me to sit it outside, or $5, whatever it may be, or delivery charges. All right? Gas is expensive. So, evaluate your business and maybe stop taking those after cash payments or after process payments, right? Whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So stop doing that. I've seen a lot of people, and I've had a lot of back office questions. Nikki, I have made 15 shirts for this client, and now they've stuck me with them because they were going to pay when they got here, and now they no longer want them because they found somebody else who could do them cheaper. Well, that cheaper person just won out because now you're stuck with that product. Know your worth. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you very much. All right. So this is that point where we talk about everything we've just talked about. We're going to go over it real quick. I'm going to head back over to the desk, and this is the portion where we call it the rewind. And yes, like Missy just said, and state once it's shipped, it is out of your control. You know, once you give it to UPS, USPS, FedEx, you have no control of where it goes or how long it gets there. When you also are talking about processing times, talk about processing times for the item to be made. Say it does not include shipping times. Make sure you put that little disclaimer in there. Processing times do not include shipping times because shipping times are completely different. If somebody purchases 2-day shipping, that's great. It can go 2-day shipping, but your processing time may be 7 to 14 days. All right, make sure you word that correctly. All right, processing times are 7 to 14 days. Shipping times are not included. Okay. Okay. Hold, please. Hold, please. There we go. I know. I hate this whole mic thing. I gotta figure this whole mic thing out and why it doesn't just do what I want it to do. I hate technology this week. Actually, I hate technology this month, this year. I hate technology just in general. Can we just go with that? Thanks. I know y'all heard me, but it was just a little lower because I'm loud. It says for us, orders under, Carrie writes, for us, orders under $100 payment required to be in full. Anything over 100 is 50% deposit before production starts. And when given notification order is ready, force the customer to pick up remaining balance due before pickup. Yeah. Or at least that covers the cost of materials so it doesn't screw you over. Absolutely. I mean, that's a great way too, especially for large orders. Team orders, school orders, yes. But honestly, I prefer school orders and team orders. I will do percentages. But for individuals, one person ordering no, you're going to pay for it up front. I'm sorry. I do need to wear a glitter mic so it travels with me. I will be getting a mic that goes on here, so no matter where I go, I am mic'd up. That's it. I'm buying a mic. I'm doing it. All right. So let's get to that portion of the recap, rewind, as we've done traditionally. We talked about the Christmas trends and the Christmas colors of 2022. We've talked about how we're bringing it back to basics. We're bringing it back to nature, botanicals. We're talking about chocolates and sand colors and creamies and milk and cream colors. We're talking about the light blue, the light pink, but not baby. Don't go that way. Go vintage colors. Talk about the traditional colors of Christmas, right? Your traditional red and green and white, or your forest green, your burgundy. Adds in pops of golds and silvers. And you know what? It doesn't matter what it is as long as you're there home with the family. Christmas is whatever color you make it. What are the trends and gifts for this coming 2022 Christmas season? Board games, fuzzy socks, and blankets are at the top of the leader list of things to have. Also, things with form and function. They may be pretty, but they need to be able to be functionable too. You need to be able to use them, not just sit there on the shelf collecting dust. Those are the top 4 things that are trending in the gift area for 2022. So then we went over and we started talking about where you should be in the craft calendar. That's right. We're heading into July. Well, I've been talking about the Christmas in July stuff. We just talked about the trends of 2022 for Christmas. You should start to think about, are you going to be running a sale during Christmas in July? What are you going to run in that sale? Are you going to try to get used stock out of the way so you can make new for the new stock that's coming out? Do you have it marked on your calendar that June or July 10th and 24th are my Christmas and July specials where I get to show off my vendors? Right? We talked about that. We talked about 2 places that you could get board, or 3 places that you could get some of those Christmas holiday gift trends. Blanktastic has your games. It has the quarter toss game with the large and the small. You got Suzanne from Sublimation Underground for all of your ornament needs, right? She's there. We also talked about Silky Socks for all your sock needs, right? You can go through any one of those 3 plus all my other vendors. Don't get me wrong. Those are just a sampling. I'm not, they're all there. They all have something for all of your stuff for gift giving needs. But those were the trends for 2022. In July, you're going to look at and see, okay, what should you be offering for fall and for Christmas and Halloween and all the fun stuff in the back half of the year. See, we're kind of bored this time of year. Yeah, there's holidays. Yes, there's events that we could be doing. And yes, we've been having our business. We've been, yay, go, right? But we have all of that. And then we add in a lot of holidays all at once. So we've compounded our busy season all together. Back to school. We have, what else is in there? Grandparents' Day is in there. You have Veterans Day in there. You have Labor Day in there. You have Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. You have Hanukkah. You have Christmas. You have Halloween. You have Thanksgiving. You have the fall season. Hello, right? You've got a lot of stuff, and I know I've missed some things, jam-packed from September until December, right? You have all of that jam-packed in a short amount of time. So this is where we need to prepare. I showed you some of the things that I have in my shop that you might want to have in yours. Let's talk about the key fob pliers. The caliper is a must-have, okay? Let's just call it what it is. The caliper is a must-have. Rulers, measuring tapes. We talked about all the stuff you need for sublimation in your supply stuff. Paper, tape. You need lint rollers, Teflon sheets, butcher paper, tape dispenser holder, butcher paper holder. We talked about, some of the doodads and gizmos and gadgets, as Cheyenne said in the Little Mermaid tone of voice, that you also need. You know what? I add beads and gems to my ornaments, little pretty bows. I can't wait to show you all of those fun little things that make my ornaments just slightly different, which I know everybody else is about to have theirs too. That's okay too. I love sharing everything that I know. You got to see some of the odd things that I have in my shop because you're like, why do you have them? I got to show you how I make a bow with rubber bands and have those in your shop. Again, these little things you can have in some really cute looking, and they're not necessarily cute, but the functional, trays or boxes. That's what I was looking for, the storage boxes. Have those in there just so that you have them, right? Keep those in your shop. Rubbing alcohol. I forgot that on the list. You need rubbing alcohol to wipe down your items. Again, try to sit down with yourself, your team, whomever. And if you want to have a conversation with me, reach out. Say, hey, Nikki, these are things that I need to carry in my shop. Am I missing anything? I'll be like, well, do you have ... We can totally have a conversation. As I told you guys, Zoom will be hit or miss for the Zoomy Fridays, but I'm always down for having a Zoom where we are talking literally back office only stuff. Things that you have sat down and said, hey, do you want to have this? Should I have that? What do you guys think? You know what? Maybe you need a team meeting kind of thing. I'll probably be doing a team meeting maybe during the day for our during the day folks, and then probably at night, so we can kind of just check in and see who wants to say, listen, I need this, I need that. We could definitely do that. You can join me over on Facebook for that and all things Zoomy related things over on the Facebook, and where you're seeing me right now on the Sassy Subber Facebook Designs or on YouTube, you'll be able to see all of my Sasses and mini Sass lives. That's right, our mini Sass and tips of the day are over on my YouTube channel. Make sure you go check those out as well. As always, I want to thank these ladies. Thank you to these ladies who sat by today and watched the tragedy of my microphone, but you know what? They're here for it. We'll get it all straightened around so that next Sunday we do not have this issue of my mic being an issue. So thank the ladies behind the helm. You got Jessica, Jody, Cheyenne, and Amanda. Make sure you say thank you and have a great rest of your day. I will see you guys all later on Facebook, on the flip side. Have a great afternoon, everyone.